Hello guys, my name is David Fields and you're watching Field Skills. Today's video is part of our urban survival video series, and we're going to talk about a skill that each of us need to develop and improve on and practice to use in an urban survival situation, and that skill is lock picking. In today's video, I want us to talk a little bit about what's involved in picking locks, what is involved and what makes up a lock, the tools that we need to have with us, and the techniques that we would need to use to pick a lock. So let me change the camera around and let's talk about some of these things on today's urban survival video. Okay guys, first of all, let's talk about a lock and what is involved in a lock. And I'm going to put a picture on up on the screen that I just downloaded from artoflockpicking.com there that talks about a lock. And when we think about a lock, and you look at it, you understand that there is a cylinder in the middle of any lock, and that cylinder has a keyhole that you slide the key in. We're all familiar with that. And inside that keyhole there are pins at the top, and there are key pins that your key lifts up. When those jagged edges of your key go in, they lift those pins up, and the key pins are lifting up against a spring there at the top, the driver pins. And the key to picking locks is to get those blue driver pins up above the shear line of that cylinder. That's up in above it, where then you can turn the key. As long as those blue driver pins are blocking that shear line, that lock will not turn or open. But once you lift those individual pins up and get them lined up properly at the shear line, your lock will open. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is taking that pick and going in there and picking those key pins, lifting those up against the tension of that spring to get that driver pin up above the shear line. And we're going to use various tools for that. And those tools are picks. And I've set out my set of lock picks that I have here, and I might mention I am no expert and I practice regularly. One of the things I enjoy doing is sitting there at night watching TV, a show, or maybe a ball game that I'm not totally interested in, but I'm watching it, and I just work on picking locks and using these to improve my skills at it through that. But to have a lock pick, you've got to have picks, of course, in there. And there are different kinds of picks. You have hooks. These type picks are used for lifting those individual springs or pins in there against the springs. So you would use this group right here. This is a diamond pick over here, and other forms of diamond, a smaller diamond, and regular hooks to go in there and lift those individual pins up. And then you've got rakes of varying types that you go in and rake those in, and you wiggle and in and out, up and down, to try to over a lot of different combinations to get those pins matched up right. But the only way you can be able to pick a lock where there's the individual pins or multiple pins at one time is to use a tension bar. And you need that tension bar to go into your lock, and you can put it at the bottom. Sometimes you'll pick one at the top, but you put that tension bar in and hold tension I hope you can see, to just gently turn that cylinder in there to hold tension on it. That's what the tension bar is for. So as you lift that pin up and get it in line where it needs to be at the shear line, then the tension you hold on that will hold it in place till you pick the other pins, till you get the hole. 3, 4, 5, 6. Various locks will have different number of pins. The longer the key, probably the more pins are in there. But let's try to pick a lock and see how it goes. And I'm going to take this lock and show you some things. And let's just look at this first before we actually pick it. I want to enter a pick in, and I hope you can see that. Let me run this down closer and see here if I go in, and if you can see me lifting those pins. This is a clear acrylic lock used for practice and to demonstrate how to pick. But as you can see, I am lifting those individual pins, and I'm going to try to get them above that shear line, which is the top of the cylinder here. Okay guys, let's see if we can pick this lock. Alright, this is our clear practice lock, and as you can see, it is locked. So I'm going to take my tension wrench here, get it turned over properly, put my tension wrench, I'm going to use the shorter end right here. Alright, got my tension wrench in, and I'm going to hold some light pressure on this tension wrench. And I'm going to take, and I can feel all those pins as I slide that pick all the way to the back. And this is a 6-pin lock, so I'm going to slide it down and work on number 6. And I can feel it. It's all with feel in your fingertips. You want to be light, and it's all by feel. And you feel, and sometimes you'll hear a little click when that driver pin drops into place, gets above that shear line. There's on number 4. I just felt it come up. Let's see what happens here. And working along. Oh, I felt that pop in. Oh, got a little false set. I felt it just seemed like it wanted to turn and move just a fraction. I got one pin somewhere. I think it's number 6 down there. There it goes. Boom. We popped the lock on that. Okay. Let's find this, see if we can pick one of these old master locks that I've got here. You can see, found them at work. We didn't have keys to them, so I brought them home. I thought, let me see if I can pick those locks. So I've got my tension wrench in, as you can see, in there. And I'm going to take this single pick, and let's see if we can pick the pins. I'm going to slide it all the way to the back. And I'm going to start bringing it forward, putting just very light pressure with this finger on that tension wrench. I just felt one of the pins give me a false set, which means it should be right there at the shear line. Coming down, working gently, boom, opened it up. And I wish you just have to try this with the single pins. It's all by feel right there. Okay guys, we're going to wrap this video up. I hope you will consider getting you a set of lock picks and practicing developing that skill to put into your urban survival kit. Having those tools, the picks, and the skills to be able to use those picks to pick a lock. Again, the disclaimer, picking locks is illegal unless the locks are yours on your house, your property. So let's not go out there and start breaking in places using these techniques. We would only use them in a survival situation where the world was without rule of law, or a grid down scenario where we're trying to find a safe place, safe shelter, secure, or scavenging supplies or something that are behind a locked gate or a locked door. This skill could come in handy. I end all my videos with a quote, and the quote for these urban survival videos comes from Benjamin Franklin. And Franklin said, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. So I hope you'll join me next time as we prepare to succeed in an urban survival situation. My name is David Fields. You've been watching Field Skills.